So the Toronto Raptors lost against the Brooklyn Nets 116 to 103, and it was actually a really great game. They didn't have enough offense to really stand up against the Nets, especially coming down to the wire, but they played some very great defense overall and put a lot of pressure on the Brooklyn Nets. So we're going to be talking about the game, talking about each team and where they could be going moving forward. So what's up? I'm JDC. I do Rocket slash NBA videos. So that's what you like to see. Drop a like, press the sub button. It really appreciated. We're trying to get to 1K by the end of Christmas, so I'd appreciate it if you guys drop a like, press the sub button, and let's get into video talking about the Brooklyn Nets first, because I think they did a very great job moving forward in the fourth quarter. So looking at the best player on the court right now, Kevin Durant, 31 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 turnovers, which is pretty bad, but 11 of 18 from the field and 3-6 from 3. Perfect from the free throw line. A very efficient game from KD overall. Just the 7 turnovers was, pretty bad, plus 17 overall. Great game from KD. Didn't expect anything less from him, and, pretty much expected from the best player on the court. And, my player for the best player in the league. So, Blake Griffin, next player, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Was hitting, a lot of threes, 4-6 from 3 and 5 and 9 from the field. Very efficient game from Blake Griffin, 0-2 from the free throw line, so nothing great there. But Blake Griffin played very well today, especially being the center, no small ball center. And, Blake Griffin, I don't really know how I feel about him, because he is 6'9", 215 pounds. But I'm not too sure. 56%. Well, actually, 33% from the field and then 17% from 3 this season. Absolutely horrendous stats. So, a good bounce back game from Blake Griffin. Joe Harris, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3-7 from the 3 and 4 of 8 from the field. Pretty decent game from Joe Harris too, because he's been struggling, especially since he was really bad in the playoffs. This season, 40% from the field and 40% from 3. Not bad stats from Joe Harris overall, so good to see that he's taking the threes again, 3-7 from 3. Bruce Brown, pretty great game from him too. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Hitting a lot of those floaters, and I think that's a signature move moving forward. That floater with that right hand, I think it's pretty much of a staple in his game. So that's something I like about his game, and really great role player overall for the Brooklyn Nets. And finally, from the starters, James Harden, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Was actually turning up in the fourth quarter. Hit a lot of really clutch shots. Had a 3, a couple of threes, 10 to 20 from the field, 3-10 from 3, which isn't all that great, but was hitting a lot of clutch shots that the Nets actually did need, and was looking like his old self out there. So also only took 6 free throws, so nothing too special there. Still not getting to the free throw line as much, but was looking a lot better today, especially with him scoring a lot in the fourth quarter, which they do need him to do on a daily basis if they really want to close out games. Especially with today, as great as of a team the Raptors are defensively, they really do need James Harden to score more often. So looking at the bench, no one of note except for Patty Mills, who scored 13 points, 1 rebound, and had 4 turnovers. So nothing too great from the Brooklyn Nets bench as of right now. I expected more from Paul Millsap. I just think that Steve Nash isn't really the coach for the Nets, and it just shows a lot. Paul Millsap should at least be getting 20 minutes out there, because he can provide a lot on defense. And I don't know, he's not using Paul Millsap right. So looking at the Raptors side of things, they were actually pretty great today too. Fred VanVleet, probably the best player for the Raptors today. 21 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, sorry. 6 of 14 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. Was really great today, setting up his teammates a lot, with the 8 assists. So nothing to say too much about Fred VanVleet. Been pretty much leading this Raptors team with 19 points per game over the season. 43 from the field and 37 from 3. Not too bad from Fred VanVleet. Gary Trent Jr., really great game from him too. 14 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 block, 7 of 14 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. His 3 balls weren't going in, but he was taking a lot of mid-range shots and they were going in. So, pretty great game from Gary Trent. Scotty Barnes, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. Great defense from Scotty Barnes overall, 4-7 from the field. So, Scotty Barnes looking like to be the rookie of the year. With that 5 steals, really impressive from him. And just the Raptors defense overall today was so much better, especially with Pascal Siakam back, which we'll get into after OG Anunoby, which we'll talk about right now. OG, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Pretty quiet game on offense, but defensively, he was actually pretty great today. So nothing too much to say about most of the players, because there was pretty much of a quiet game. OG definitely slowed down, because I think the only reason was because Pascal Siakam was back and they were running a small ball 5. yeah, it's for the starting lineup, especially with Pascal Siakam back. So, and finally, Siakam, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks. Was looking very great today. Coming back from a surgery, 5 of 12 from the field and 1 3 from 3. Efficiency wasn't all that great, but was looking like his old self again, and was playing actually pretty well. So, looking at the Raptors bench, Precious Achiuwa with 13 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal. I think moving forward, I think Precious should be coming off the bench. He hasn't been showing too many flashes of being that starter guy, and off the bench, 13 points in just 27 minutes, not too bad. So, and I think we just got to take this in. This is all without Kem Birch being there, with Kem Birch being the starting center, which he'll probably be moving to the bench, which makes sense because Pascal Siakam's back, and I think running the small ball 5 is great for the Raptors because they can switch basically anything on defense. Coming from a Houston Rockets fan that watched PJ Tucker playing the center at 6'5", but yeah, I think playing a small ball lineup, same thing with the Nets, they can switch a lot of things with Siakam being, let's see what he is. He's 6'8" and 230 pounds. So switching everything for this Raptors team is going to be very, very great for them defensively, especially with OG Anunoby guarding 1 through 5. I think he could be a ballot for all defensive first or second because he's been absolutely killing it on defense. Same thing with Scotty Barnes, who could be maybe a throw-in for all defensive second with those 5 steals. So yeah, honestly, it was a really great game for the Raptors. Unfortunately, could not close it out at the end. It was 116 to 103. I think moving forward, the Raptors do need to improve their offense a little bit. With Siakam, I will give some credit to Siakam for playing very well come back after a surgery. So, cutting some slack there. But I think overall, the Raptors do need a little bit of an offensive push. OG Anunoby, just had an off night. Fred VanVleet was the only one actually scoring on this team. And, Gary Trent Jr., his 3-pointers weren't falling. So, and overall as a team, they were 23% from the 3. So, yeah, overall, the Raptors do need an offensive push. I think they will actually, I think they'll get better as time moves on because it's a very young team. I think their next game, let's see what their next game is, because honestly, I think the Raptors, they're 6-4 right now. They could be a play-in sleeper. And just got to watch out for this team because they're actually really great. Yeah, so next game, November 10th, is against the Boston Celtics. So that should be a great game. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams. So it's gonna test the Raptors defensively. Hopefully they can stop Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown because they've both been looking pretty terrible overall. Especially with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I just don't think their play styles work together. But I'll get into that maybe in another video. But yeah, overall the Raptors, they're looking pretty solid, and hopefully they get more dubs and get into the play-in because I think they have a lot of potential. OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, and Gary Trent Jr. A very great starting 5 lineup right there. Small ball lineup, and go Raptors. Sorry. So that's the video. I'm JDC. I'm out. Peace.